What if Gojo ate Sukuna's finger instead of Yuji? This one choice could either save the world or doom it to a much darker fate. To understand this change, we have to go back to the rooftop where Megumi is losing a fight. In the real story, Yuji Itadori eats the finger. Because he has a rare gift, he becomes a living prison for Sukuna, strong enough to hold him back. This was a miracle that nobody, not even the jujutsu leaders, saw coming. But in our story, things go a little differently. Let's imagine Gojo arrives just a second sooner. He sees the cursed finger and knows how dangerous it is. He thinks fast. He can't give it to the jujutsu leaders. They might try to use its power. He can't let a villain get it either. Gojo feels he has to protect everyone, so the only person he trusts is himself. So he does the unexpected. He eats the finger. Two things should happen now. First, the finger is a deadly poison. For a normal person, or even most sorcerers, eating it would mean instant death. But Satoru Gojo isn't normal. He can already use a special power to heal himself constantly. Getting rid of a poison would be tough, but for someone like him, it's possible. The second, much bigger problem is Sukuna's return. If the person who eats the finger survives, Sukuna is supposed to take full control of their body. This is where the real battle begins. It's not a fight of strength, but a war inside Gojo's mind. Yuji had a strong will that helped him stay in charge. Gojo's mind is just as strong, if not stronger. He is incredibly confident and has always been called the strongest. So Sukuna tries to emerge. Tattoos might appear on Gojo's skin, and new eyes might try to form on his face, but Gojo just shoves him back down. Yuji was like a passenger in his own body, but Gojo isn't just a prison for Sukuna, he's the warden. His 6 eyes would let him see everything happening inside himself. He could constantly watch Sukuna's cursed energy. He could even use his limitless power on the inside, building special walls that Sukuna couldn't break through. It's a much better prison than Yuji's body. The world is safe, that's for now, but the strongest sorcerer is now a ticking time bomb. After this, things get wild, but Gojo stays in control. He would probably walk into Jujutsu High with his usual relaxed smile and tell everyone what he did. The leaders would completely panic. Their best fighter is now also their worst enemy. The plan to execute Sukuna's host is now impossible. After all, who could possibly kill Satoru Gojo? The whole story changes. Yuji Itadori gets to live a normal life, knowing nothing about curses. His super strength is just a cool party trick. Nobara and Megumi are still Gojo's students, but their training is different. Gojo is no longer just their funny, powerful teacher. He is now a living lesson about carrying a huge burden. He would have to work even harder to find the other fingers, not just to stop Sukuna, but to eat them himself. This would put all the danger in one place, inside him. Let's look at the big moments. The fight at the detention center still happens, but instead of sending his students, Gojo goes alone. No one gets hurt and no one dies. Gojo shows up, looks at the special grade curse, and easily exercises it with his powers. The fight is no trouble at all. Megumi never has to feel like he's not strong enough, and Nobara is never put in danger. They are safer, but they are also weaker. They don't get to grow stronger through hard fight. What about Mahito and his group? Their plan to trap Gojo in Shibuya is now pointless. They can't trap Gojo without also trapping Sukuna, which is a risk they can't take, and how they meet changes too. Remember Junpei? In this timeline, Gojo might show up faster because his 6 eyes can sense Mahito's cursed energy from miles away. The fight would be very short. Gojo wouldn't play games. He'd see Mahito's soul-changing ability as a threat to the battle happening in his own mind. Mahito would be erased, not because Gojo is angry, but simply because he's a danger. The school exchange event becomes a joke. Hanami appears, but instead of a big battle with the students, Gojo just shows up. He understands Hanami's abilities instantly, and the fight is over. No team up needed, just another easy day for the strongest. You see the pattern here? Gojo, as Sukuna's vessel, just defeats every enemy with no effort. The world is much safer, but the younger sorcerers, Yuji, Megumi, Nobara, and the others are not forged by danger. Gojo, by trying to contain the world's greatest evil, is stopping the next generation of heroes from rising. He's so good at his job that no one else gets a chance to shine. But this whole time, a voice whispers in the back of his mind. Sukuna isn't just sitting there, he's watching and learning. He's a nagging voice, planting dark ideas and trying to make Gojo resent the Jujutsu elders. How long can Gojo really keep him under control? And what happens when the biggest event of the series begins? If you're enjoying this alternate take on Jujutsu Kaisen, make sure to subscribe for more what-if videos. Now let's get to the true turning point, Shibuya. The Shibuya incident was Kenjaku's masterpiece, all designed to trap Gojo in the prison realm. But in this timeline, that plan is garbage. Kenjaku knows that trapping Gojo means trapping Sukuna too. What if Sukuna gets free inside the prison realm and finds a way to escape? Kenjaku can't take that risk, so the plan changes. It's no longer about trapping Gojo, it's about breaking him. Kenjaku's new goal is to push Gojo to his limits, to exhaust him so much that he can't hold Sukuna back. back, even for a moment. Shibuya starts just like in the real story. A veil drops, trapping thousands of civilians. Gojo enters alone, confident he will win. The first big fight is against Jogo, Hanami, and Choso. In the original story, Gojo toyed with Jogo to teach Yuji a lesson. Here, there's no lesson to teach, he destroys them. He kills Hanami and Jogo immediately, but not before the chaos forces his hand. And this is where the first crack appears. To get rid of the transfigured humans without hurting them, he uses his domain expansion, Unlimited Void, for just 0.2 seconds. It's a brilliant move that freezes everyone long enough for him to kill the curses. But it also uses a lot of energy. And deep in his mind, Sukuna smiles. As Gojo moves through the station, Kenjaku appears in Geto's body. Gojo is still shocked to see the face of his best friend. That moment of hesitation still happens, but this time Kenjaku doesn't use the prison realm. He attacks. The fight is a catastrophe. It's Kenjaku and his army against a Gojo who is already tired from suppressing Sukuna. Gojo is still winning, but just as he's about to end it, the real plan is revealed. Kenjaku makes a binding vow, sacrificing every civilian in Shibuya to fire a massive wave of cursed energy directly at Gojo. It's not meant to kill him, it's meant to overwhelm him. The massive flood of cursed energy is too much for his six eyes to process while also keeping Sukuna contained. For the first time, Gojo's control slips for just a second, and in that single moment of weakness, Sukuna strikes. He doesn't try to take over, he does something much smarter. He proposes a deal. He speaks to Gojo in their shared mind, not as a prisoner, but as an equal. He offers a partnership. Let me handle this and I'll show you what true power is. He suggests they merge his abilities with Gojo's. Gojo, under extreme pressure, sees the twisted logic in using a greater evil to destroy a lesser one, and he agrees. What emerges is a being of pure, terrifying power. Imagine Sukuna's malevolent shrine, but now every slash is enhanced with Gojo's limitless. The attacks don't just cut, they erase whatever they touch from existence. Kenjaku, who thought he had the perfect plan, can only stare in horror as this new Gojo Sukuna unleashes a power not seen in 1,000 years. This new being doesn't just defeat Kenjaku, it annihilates him and everything nearby. Shibuya isn't just ruined, it's wiped off the map. The sheer power makes all previous battles look like children's games. The curses are gone. Kenjaku is gone. The threat is over. But as the dust settles, those watching from afar realize a horrifying truth. They didn't just witness a victory, they witnessed the birth of a new god. A cruel god who is all-powerful and cares for no one. After Shibuya, the world is fractured. The power balance of the jujutsu world is shattered. There are no more elders, no more politics, there is only the absolute rule of the being that was once Satoru Gojo. But what about Gojo himself? The deal he made was a terrible one. He let the monster out of its cage for a moment, and now the cage is broken forever. The inner battle is over. There was no winner or loser, only a terrifying fusion. Gojo's arrogance and loneliness find a dark harmony with Sukuna's selfishness and greed. They were always two sides of the same coin, beings who stood far above everyone else. This new entity isn't purely evil like Sukuna, it doesn't kill for sport, but it also has none of Gojo's remaining compassion for his students or his duty to protect the weak. It acts based on pure absolute power. It reshapes the world not out of malice, but because it believes it has the right to. It might eliminate all curses, but it would also eliminate anyone or anything it sees as a problem. The jujutsu world would be fixed, but it would be a world ruled by fear. Megumi, Yuta, and the others would face an impossible choice. How do you fight your former teacher, a man who now wields Limitless, the Six Eyes, and all of Sukuna's strength? Any attempt to fight him would be suicide. Yuta Okotsu would be defeated easily. Angel's ability to cancel out cursed techniques might be a threat, but how could she ever get close? This being could likely sense and stop any technique before it was even activated. Gojo's own fate is the most tragic. He isn't dead, he's trapped. He is fully aware, a prisoner in his own body, forced to watch the horrors committed with his own hands and power. His all-seeing mind is forced to witness an endless nightmare of his own making. He did reform the jujutsu world, but at the cost of his own soul. He is alone at the top, just as he always was, but now he shares his throne with a monster. The world is no longer threatened by curses, it is ruled by one. Make sure to like, subscribe, and watch What If Geto Never Turned Evil. Click on this video right here.